Podemos grabar y muy buenos días. ¿Cómo
Buenos
están
días.
Buenos
ustedes?
días.
¿Están bien?
Sí,
Pa- para
Bien.
lunes, for Monday. Bien, para lunes, ¿no? Ah, eso sí. Bueno, vamos a practicar mucho. Voy a tomar las preguntas que tengan. I'll take any questions that you might have. And I hope we have some practice time. Ooh, if you didn't get your receipt, oh, yeah, if you need to go look for a receipt quickly, take the next couple minutes to do that.
Well, I need
Maybe,
a receipt, yes.
so see, and we'll have some visual things to hopefully help you with that too, because even if you haven't got your receipt, we'll have some other things that will help you to practice a little bit. It's always a great idea to come back to numbers a little bit and practice those over and over again because it's a life survival skill that, yeah, if we don't, if you don't use it, you lose it, one of those kind of things. So, um, bueno, al grano, right to the point. This one is kind of I'm going to start so I don't forget about it because this question has come up before and it's always a thing. Um, I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but see, la cuestión de vos. This question
Mm.
of what is this thing called vos often comes up. So I did send you this little video about using vos. Um, And the thing you should know is that it's not used everywhere. But and well, who does use it? Well, it's a very regional thing. Some areas of Latin America do use it, but all of Argentina, see, Uruguay, Paraguay, all those little things that tuck into Brazil.
I'm sorry, I just started listening. What did you say?
Uh, so do know that it is used kind of consistently there, but in other parts of Latin America, it's a very scattered thing. You hear it used in some parts of Colombia, but not others. Do you absolutely have to know both perfectly to communicate? No, you don't. But you should know that they're addressing you in a friendly way. So there's the second thing you really need to know is that vos is used to speak to people in a friendly way, saying you. It is used instead of tú in some regions. And so you should know if you hear it, they're talking to you. And they're talking to you as if they were using tú. Okay. And it gets conjugations, I believe, only in present, presente y mandatos and commands. But even I am going to confess I am not perfectly fluid with both. I absolutely know it when I hear it. And so I guess what I'm telling you is um, when you hear it, it will be obvious what verb they're using, and they're just talking to you. But I do want to see if you had any quick questions on both.
No,
It doesn't affect all the tenses. It's kind of an odd thing. Okay, vale,
I'm good.
bien. But just so that you know it's out there and don't feel flummoxed if you hear somebody use it, just know they're talking to you. Okay. La segunda cosa es que les envié a ustedes, I sent you guys, ¿sí? La lista del repaso, the review list, ¿sí? La lista de repaso de números. Y sí, vamos a practicar con los números porque es muy natural, es obligatorio reconocer los números. You've heard me say this before, but I'll repeat it for folks who are newer to the group. The most important thing about numbers is that really they are a survival skill. You do need to recognize numbers. because they're used so frequently to talk about prices, to talk about ages, to talk about years. Okay, we can't escape numbers in daily communication, but for numbers, directions, addresses, prices, all that stuff, it's really important to know numbers, but the most important thing is to recognize the number. The skill you want to cultivate and hone and get completely comfortable with is when you hear a number said, to have the digit pop into your head, you know? Es como decir cinco, cinco. When somebody says five to you, you know, whether you think about it or not, that number five is usually kind of the symbolic digit pops into your head. Well, that's kind of what you want to happen with Spanish when you hear the number, okay? Of course, obviously, you want to be able to communicate using numbers as well in speaking, but recognizing them when they are spoken, the listening comprehension end of that is the most important survival skill. ¿Sí? Y así que, bueno, la segunda cosa, the second thing we're going to take a look at here. Me imagino que les gustó el video de los números. You can see his picture here. ¿Sí, Andrés?
Sí.
¿Pueden ver? Sí. Ok. ¿Hay alguna pregunta aquí de este video de comparar, comparing, de comparar precios? ¿Hay alguna pregunta de eso? Is there anything in here that kind of gave you a little question mark, a little pause? When you got to one thing I'm sure you noticed was that every time Shell brought up prices from Colombia, because it is a very different monetary unit, wow, she had lots of hundreds and thousands in the items she was comparing, right?
Yes. Sí.
See, so the reason this was a great video to show was that it gave you a whole range of comparisons with using numbers from small ones to really, really big ones. In some cases, kind of mind-blowing big numbers in the thousands. See? Bien? ¿Hay alguna pregunta? Any question on anything you heard them talk about here? Then they were very good about using the props.
Very
So
good.
one of the questions I had was I didn't catch the vocabulary term for a cashier or to go check out. How you'd say either of those things in Spanish.
Buena pregunta, buena pregunta.
Yep.
Sí, es buena pregunta. Cashier is called, oh, you know what? I'll bring up our, since my whiteboard is not working fabulously well for all people, I'm going to put this up here. Okay, cashier. Sí, you may hear it referred to as la caja, which means box. But that's the till, you know, the box they keep the money in. Yeah, okay. Typically it'll be la caja or ¿dónde está la? So if you're asking where's the cashier, you might say ¿dónde está la caja? Or ¿dónde está el cajero? Whenever you've got an ERO ending, that is something that talks about the job somebody does. Yeah. Or a thing that does a job, an object, or a person who does a job. It might be el cajero, la cajera, la caja. See, la caja, cash register area en general. Bueno, Jean. Julie, tienes pregunta también.
That when they were converting to US dollars, they were using multiple. Sometimes it was con, sometimes it punta. Does it make any difference? And sometimes they use dollars only, and sometimes they'd say dollars and centavos. So
That whole thing of, por ejemplo, si tenemos, en inglés decimos 550, ¿no? Como aquí, like this?
yep.
Okay. So first of all, one thing, when you see it represented, you may see this instead, which you may see a comma used instead of a decimal point. This is common in a lot of countries. So just know if you see it's kind of switched in many, many countries all over the world. I don't know if outside of the Hispanic world, I know in the Hispanic world, this is a common thing where we will use a decimal point. Often there will be a comma instead. Okay. Often that little, what we use as a decimal point, or they use as a comma, often that is expressed as this word, con, with. Entonces, por ejemplo, 5,50, 5,50, 5,50, or you may just hear people using e.
Okay.
So it varies. Go with the flow. Yeah. Or they may say nothing at all. 5,50. 5,50 with no little word for what we use as, that in between punctuation, I guess, the little decimal point or their comma. So depending on the region, people will say a variety of things. Es buena pregunta. It's a good question. In Spain, a lot you hear the con. I've heard people with Latin America using e. I've heard people using nothing at all, just using 5,50. So depende. It depends. Buena pregunta. Hay otra pregunta. Any other question from the video? And Cindy probably has been experiencing a lot of that. No, nada. You have not gone grocery shopping. Oh, because you have. See.
I'm going to give you an example. It's just interesting. I bought 12 small, the really sweet mangoes and 2 large ones, and it cost 5,048 pesos, which is $1.25. Super confusing. I'm on my phone all the time doing the conversion.
Sí, sí, convertir a los valores de las monedas. Wow. Muy difícil, muy difícil. And you noticed when they were comparing euros to, dollars to pesos and pesos colombianos are not going to be the same exchange rate, of course, as pesos mexicanos. So, yeah, you got to go with the flow with the country you're in. Así es, so it is. Exacto. Ok, ¿otra pregunta del video o no? O adelante. Moving on? Ok. Adelante. Adelante. Mira tu recibo. Hey, check out your receipt. Check out your latest receipt. Hopefully you've got a receipt or you just remember off the top of your head. Sometimes I remember off the top of my head. I shop for a big household, so I'm constantly doing this. Mira tu recibo de pago. Recibo de pago, sí, your receipt de los comestibles. Y dinos, tell us. Dinos, tell us. That nos on the end means to us. Dinos, tell us. ¿Cuánto cuesta tu comida favorita esta semana? ¿Cuánto cuesta tu comida favorita de esta semana? ¿Alguna idea? ¿Alguna idea? Por ejemplo, es muy común cuando comemos aquí en nuestra casa carne de res, beef, carne de res, carne molida, ground beef, hamburger en inglés, ¿no? Carne de res molida, sí. 2 libras, 2 pounds, 2 libras por como $4 más o menos. ¿Sí? Perdón. $4 por libra. $4 per pound. $4 por libra per pound. ¿Sí? Alguien más. Somebody else got a different price. Una botella de vino. Carne, frutas, vegetales, algo. Nada. Wow.
No.
Ok.
No.
¿Sí? ¿Cuál es la cosa más cara en tu bolsa? Bolsa es bag. ¿Cuál es la cosa más cara en tu bolsa del supermercado? What tends to be the priciest thing in your supermarket bag? ¿Cuál es la cosa más cara?
¿Cómo se dice laundry detergent?
Oh, detergente para lavar la ropa. Sí, es costoso. Sí, se puede, es caro el detergente o es caro o es costoso. Son términos iguales. Sí. ¿Alguien más? Yo compré, por ejemplo, oh,
In
ah,
my, in
sí,
my
Sam.
bag, it's Protena El Polvo. And la Protena El Polvo cuesta $29 con 99 centavos.
Bien. En polvo, powdered.
Powder, yeah, protein
Okay.
powder.
Proteína.
Protena.
Okay.
Proteína.
Okay. ¿Alguien más? Anybody else? ¿Alguien más? Sí, Julie.
La cosa más cara en mi bolsa del supermercado es comida para el perro de mi hija. Cuesta, cuesta 24,99 $.
Sí.
Okay.
Se compra en
Sí.
una bolsa. You buy it in a bag. Se compra en una bolsa.
Sí. Muy
Sí.
caro.
Sí, es caro, bien, sí. También la arena para los gatos, kitty litter, la arena, they call it sand. Well, it looks like sand, doesn't it? La arena para los gatos cuesta mucho, es como $20 por una bolsa. Sí, bueno. La cosa más cara en tu bolsa. ¿Alguien más? Anybody else? The priciest thing in your bag? ¿Y qué? La cosa más cara en mi bolsa, la última vez que fui al supermercado, es como camarones shrimp. Compré los camarones para algo para mi esposo. Y, sí, ¿cuánto costó? ¿Cuánto costaron los camarones? Como estaban en oferta. It was on sale. Estaba en oferta, pero esta semana cuesta como $12 por
Yes,
una libra, $12.
per
Sí.
pound.
Sí, per pound. Sí, bien. Ok. ¿Cuál es un producto en oferta, on sale. ¿Cuál es un producto en oferta? Para mí que las manzanas están en oferta esta semana, las manzanas, y estaban en oferta por $1.99 a $1.99 por libra. 1.99 per pound. ¿Sí? Bien. ¿Alguien tiene algo diferente? Anybody got something different? Sí, Julie.
Ah, un producto en oferta es aguacates. Cada
Mm,
uno cuesta $2.
bien, sí, es una maravilla cuando tenemos aguacates en oferta, ¿sí? Los aguacates aquí en Estados Unidos son muy caros. Así que es algo que compro muchas veces cuando está en oferta. Otra cosa en oferta. Oh, no. Bien. Ok.
La,
Ah, oh, sí,
¿Quién?
Sam.
La lechuga está a la venta en baja esta semana. Cuesta $1.29.
Bien,
Yeah,
bien.
lettuce. Lettuce is cheap this week.
La lechuga, sí, la lechuga. Muchas veces depende de la estación. It depends on the season, ¿no?
Right.
Depende de la estación. Con los productos frescos.
Mm.
Así, bueno, algo más. Anything else? Oh, adelante aquí. ¿Compras un producto una o dos veces al mes? ¿Y cuánto cuesta? Is there some kind of product you only buy maybe once or twice a month? Una vez o dos veces al mes. ¿Y cuánto cuesta? Muchas veces cuando yo compro comida para las mascotas, sí, ah, la compro, sí, la comida para las mascotas, la compro, I buy it, la compro una vez a la mes o dos veces a la mes, depende, ¿sí? Depende de cuánto ellos comen. Depende de cuánto ellos comen. ¿Hay algo que solamente compras una vez al mes, once a month? ¿Algo o no? Nada aquí, nada aquí. Ok. Ah, ¿Qué compras solamente? Only. ¿Qué compras solamente cuando está en oferta? What do you buy that you only get when it's on sale? Que no compras normalmente. You don't buy it all the time, just if it's on sale. Por ejemplo, para mí son los aguacates, que los compro solamente, sí, Julie, que solamente cuando están en oferta. Ok, Julie, sí, ¿tienes algo?
Cuando el lomo de primero está en oferta.
Ok, bien, bien. Sam, ¿tienes algo?
Uh, uh, Café sabor Don Francisco cuando está en feta.
Sí.
Flavor coffee.
Sí, esa marca de café estaba en oferta, it was on sale, sí, una gran oferta, big sale, bien. Ah, Igual aquí, sí, ahora que pienso en esto, sí, lo compro en oferta normalmente. Bueno, ¿qué más?
Go. People didn't do their homework.
Muchas veces también compro la cerveza o el vino cuando está en oferta. ¿Algo más o no?
No.
Sí,
Sí, sí, Cindy.
yo compro uvas
Ah,
en ofrece.
sí, porque el precio de las uvas es algo, sí, es un producto costoso. Sí, bien. Algo más. El bistec. En mi
¿Cómo?
casa, a mi esposo le encanta el bistec, especialmente el estilo de ribeye, sí, pero el bistec es muy, muy, muy costoso, así que solamente compro el bistec cuando está en oferta. Ok, bien,
Bien.
¿vale? Ok, a ver, let's take a look. I want to not put you on the spot, but I want to see if you guys can give me some numbers. And I'll let people volunteer first. But if you don't volunteer, I'm going to call on folks. Estén preparados. Be prepared. Bueno, aquí tenemos, sí, algo de un supermercado muy popular aquí en Arizona. Y wow, dentro de poco, in a little while, es posible que tengamos menos supermercados, ¿no? Depende. Pero aquí, ¿cuáles son los precios aquí? ¿Cuáles son los precios? Por ejemplo, sí, esto del bistec, el bistec. ¿Cuál es el precio? ¿Cuál es el precio? What's the price?
Of
And do both sides. Use a little con for your point. Dot, decimal point. ¿Cómo se dice 3.95?
Es
¿Alguien? Bueno, sí,
90,
Julie.
tres, $3 con 97 centavos.
Sí, 3.97. Bueno, Jean, sí, arándanos, wow, blueberries, que normalmente son muy caros, ¿sí?
Sure, sure. I guess it's $1 y
$1.
$1, yeah, $1. I don't dare say plural. $1,
$1.
$1.
Dólar, dólar.
$1, yeah, con 77 centavos.
Perfecto, perfecto.
Wow.
¿Es el uno
Que
o
es
uno?
gran oferta. That's a big sale. Sí, Julie,
¿Es el uno o uno?
$1.
Un. Thank you.
$1. Sí, el dólar, the dollar es masculino. Así que es
Ujú.
$1, ¿sí? $1, $1, $1, it all depends on €1, €1, depende del nombre del tipo de moneda. Bien, bien, bien. Sí, aquí la lechuga Sam. ¿Cuánto cuesta esta lechuga?
98 centavos.
90, 90,
90, ok.
98, 98,
90.
sí, 98
90.
centavos, 98 centavos. Aquí,
98 no sé.
pollo
Ok.
entero, un pollo asado, a roasted chicken, un
Mm.
pollo asado. ¿Cuánto cuesta el pollo asado? El pollo asado. Usha.
88 centavos
Oh, perdón, está aquí.
por un.
88 es para las papas,
o la pasa.
pero para el pollo asado, the roast chicken.
What
Eso-
about each? Each.
Cada uno, each one,
Uno. Ah,
¿sí? ¿Cuánto cuesta aquí el pollo asado, this roast chicken?
Cada uno $100 con 99.
Bien, sí. $7 con, 7,99. 7,99. And somebody may just say it as 7.99. They may just say it that way too. Los huevos están en oferta. ¡Wow! ¡Qué ganga! What a
Wow.
deal. If you want to say something is a screaming deal, el término para expresar a bargain, meaning you think it's a, screaming deal, is
Yeah.
una ganga. Ganga.
Ganga.
It looks like gang with an A on the end of it. Ganga.
Qué gran ganga.
¿Sí? Los huevos son una ganga. Los huevos aquí son una ganga. $1 con 99.
9.
9.
Sí, con 99. Now, the thing you want to think about when you see like a double digit like this 98 or this 99, a lot of times when we look at that, we think of that digit of 98 as a 9 y 8, but it's got to be the 90, right? The 90, 98. 98. Ok, a ver. La comida chatarra. Junk food. Junk food. Comida chatarra. Comida chatarra.
Dos.
¿Cuánto cuesta una bolsa? A bag, una bolsa de popes, chips. ¿Sí? ¿Cuánto cuesta?
$2 and 40 is
Sí.
49 centavos.
Sí, 2,49. 2,49. ¿Sí? Bien. La cerveza. Hay 1, 2, 3, 4 marcas. Marcas son brands. A brand of anything, whether it's clothing or food or anything, brand is marca. M-A-R-C-A, marca. M-A-R-C-A, marca. Sí, hay 4 marcas de cerveza que están en oferta. ¿Y cuál es el precio de la cerveza? ¿Cuál es el precio?
$10.99.
10
Con
con
99.
99.
Nueva.
Aquí. Sí, y aquí, Cindy, también tenemos mangos. También tenemos mangos aquí en oferta. We've got mangoes on sale here too. Me imagino que no son tan perfectos como los mangos en Colombia. ¿Sí?
Sí.
Pero, ¿cuál es el precio de los mangos aquí?
¿Cuánto?
50
Centavos, ¿sí? 50 centavos, 50 centavos. Y aquí, ¿cuál es el precio del café? La marca Starbucks, que es una marca famosa de café aquí en Estados Unidos. ¿Y cuánto cuesta el café Starbucks?
$5.99 centavos.
Perfecto, perfecto. Y aquí camarones también, 50, $5 con 99. Bueno, sí, el precio de la carne. La carne normalmente, si ustedes comen carne, la carne es un producto quizás el producto más caro en tu bolsa de comestibles. This is probably one of your most expensive items in your grocery bag, ¿no? Sí. Bueno, por ejemplo, aquí tenemos, sí, un tipo de bistec, sí, a la derecha, this one on the right, sí. ¿Cuánto cuesta? Sí, el bistec. This steak here on the right. Por libra, per pound.
$7.
Seis.
Seis.
Seis con
99.
99. Claro, muchos tipos. Sí, tenemos puerco, $3 con 99. Tenemos,
99.
sí, oh, sí, Cindy,
How do you say per pound?
por libra, por libra,
Por libra.
yeah, por is the word we use for
¿Cómo se
per,
dice? Libra.
por libra. Libra is a pound. Por ejemplo, aquí tenemos salmón. A mi familia le encanta el salmón, ¿sí? A todos, for everybody, a todos les encanta el salmón. ¿Cuál es el precio del salmón?
$8.
Oh, yeah.
Ocho
$8 con
8,
99
sí,
centavos.
8,99 por libra. 8,99 por libra. Ok, vale. Si quieres un pastel, if you want a pie, es un pastel de limón. Es un pastel de limón aquí. ¿Cuánto cuesta? ¿Cuál es el precio del pastel de limón?
$7.
60.
$7.
99.
Con
99.
99. 7,99. Ok, ok. A ver, alcohol. Ok, pasamos alcohol. A ver. Por ejemplo, aquí. Sí, detergente, pero detergente de líquido, sí, 50,99, 50, o 50, perdón, 5,99, 5,99, sí.
99.
Ah, rolls, sí, de papel. ¿Cuál es el precio?
9.
9.
9,99, ¿sí?
99.
Bien. Una piña. Las piñas. Una piña cuesta
$1.
$1
90.
con 99
con
centavos.
99. Bien. Bueno, sí. El melón.
2.
¿Sí?
2.
libras.
2 libras
2 libras
por
por 88.
88. 2 libras por 88. 2 libras por 88. Bien. Ok. A ver. ¿Cuál? Algo distinto aquí. Las fresas. ¿Cuánto cuestan las fresas?
Where you at?
Por una caja, for a box. And this is not the caja where you pay. Una caja, a box that actually has this. See? Una caja de fresas.
Where are we?
So, $2.99.
Sí, sí, perfecto. $2.99.
Para una caja. That's how you say
Sí,
para una caja.
por una caja,
Por
por
por.
una caja. When you have that idea of in exchange for, by this for this amount, that is considered in exchange for, which makes sense, yeah, because you're handing over money to get this thing. And that idea of strawberries for
Two.
$2.99, because you're expressing in exchange for, it's por.
Por.
P-O-R, por.
How do you say strawberries? You said fresas or
Las
something?
fresas.
Las
Las
fresas.
fresas. Sí, las fresas. Bien. If, on the other hand, you wanted to say the strawberries are for my kids,
Mm.
yeah, you're serving them to your kids, then we don't use por. Okay. We use por when it's in exchange for, but if you're going to serve it to somebody, then we don't use por. We use that other word, para.
Para.
Las fresas
So-
son para
mis
mis
hijos.
So, yeah, or para los niños or something.
o para la familia, o para mi esposo, para mi esposa. Son para los niños. They're for the kids. Las fresas son para los niños. Strawberries are for the kids. When the kids are the recipients, we use para. But when we exchange money for that item, when we're talking about that, then we use por. That's one of those big differences of por y para. Para is used for a recipient, but because you're exchanging money for something, when we say, $1.99 for a pineapple, then it's por. But when you're telling who you're serving it to, it's para. Okay. Bien.
So I have a question.
Sí.
On the strawberries, it says $2.99 each. What is each? A container?
Package. That's a package.
Well, you know what? That's a little bit deceptive because it's not what for each. Wow, you could read that and think it's for each strawberry. When I think about that, and they're implying it's in a box.
Right.
The
They're implying.
16 ounces.
Por
How many
una
ounces?
caja. Sí. Each
Okay.
de cada uno, each one, or por una caja, for a box, ¿sí? Aquí tenemos aquí las uvas, right? Sí, y tenemos el mismo precio para las uvas. Las uvas cuestan, sí, $2.99 también, $2.99. Ok, vale. Bueno, ok. ¿Alguna pregunta? Any kind of question there? No,
No.
ok. Vale, perfecto. Take that off share for a moment. Okay. So, thing to think about. I want to leave you with numbers. You heard lots of nice big numbers when Shell from Colombia was talking, and Cindy's been experiencing that firsthand. Sticker shock. It sounds like sticker shock, although when you look at the exchange rate, it isn't. Yeah. Another big thing to think about with bigger numbers is that when we talk about years, so, if you take a tour and they talk to you about when a building was built, some famous building or some piece of art, or just talking about years in general. Years are kind of challenging because for years in English, where we will say 1965, yeah, and we split it apart kind of like this. The English speaker splits those apart, okay? And in Spanish, to express a year, we cannot do that. So it's a little bit challenging and it's a little bit intimidating when people hear this, but you have to think of these years in Spanish as 1,900. You have to be thinking of them. Yeah, you have to be thinking of those as separate placeholders. You have to think of it as 1,900 and okay, maybe the 65 part, you can mentally handle that, right? But we can't split it apart and express it in Spanish as the number 19 and then the number 65. And if you express it that way, this is one of those mistakes where it won't be oh, no big deal. They know what you mean. It will be literally confusing for them, okay? So if I tried to say that as 1965, they would not, that's not a no big deal kind of mistake. That will literally confuse people. You have to express it as the full thousands and hundreds and teens and single digit numbers, okay? So that's got to be expressed as 1,000, yeah? And not 1,000, just 1,000, okay? For a year, just 1,000. Even if you're talking about prices, 1,000, 1,000, right? 1,000 and then 900.
900.
For the 900, and then 60, right?
Y cinco.
Y 5. Y 5. 1965. 1965.
By the time we say it, it'll be another year. It'll be 66.
Yeah. I used to have my kids do little things, talking about when they were born or when their grandma or grandpa was born, and of course they had to use a date, and it was like just a very, very hard thing to do. Now it's very easy in the 2000s decade, because if you want to express this year, but again, it can't be 2024. We can't express this in Spanish as 2024. 2024 will not be understood. So we need to make it a 2000. ¿Cómo se dice 2000?
2000.
2000.
2000.
And then we have nothing in the hundreds. Yeah. So we don't say anything for that. But we look at the 24. 2000.
24.
24.
2024. 2024. Perfecto. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, vale, 2024. My students who just started to be born in the 2000s were so happy when they did their presentations, because every 15-year-old, they didn't have any problem saying 2000. Nací en, I was born in, nací en 2002, 2005, lo que sea, whatever it was, yay, 2000, right? But the poor kids who had to do this year just really had a brain fart, okay?
Mil. Okay.
1998.
98.
Sí, así es, okay? So for
For
year, for expressing years, remember that will be a big deal. Now, if you were to take a tour in many parts of Latin America, a lot of buildings, if they were built during the colonial eras of Latin America, they may go back to years like this, 1580. Yeah. Pero no se dice 1580 en español. Es
1500.
and now we got the hard.
500.
500. The easy to remember, yeah, this is the one number, this 500 number, that is tough for us because it breaks that pattern. En español, los números en el rango de cientos, in that hundreds range, son 100, 100, 200, 200s, 300, 300s, yay, 400, 400s, but then we break the pattern, right? You would think it should be 500, but it is not. It is 500. And the easy way to remember this 500 number, which is kind of a stinker because it breaks the pattern, is that it's keen. It's keen. Yeah, like English slang, it's really great. It's keen. 500, 500, 1500. And what's the 80 part? 1500, 80.
80.
So it's just
1580.
you don't put an E at the end, you don't put a Y?
No, there's no E at the end. Okay,
Okay.
buena pregunta. Good question, Sam. And why is there no E at the
Yeah.
end?
Why?
Because I only have an E
There
at the
is.
end if that number that I've highlighted, that last digit place,
Oh, okay.
is bigger than zero.
Zero.
Yeah.
Zero.
So if it were 1583, then you
Yes.
need an E.
E3.
Mil,
Tres.
sí, 1580
E3.
Y
y
tres.
tres. Right. We only get an E with these big numbers, yeah, if the last digit in the last place, yeah,
Okay.
is something
Greater
higher
than zero.
than zero.
I got it. Okay, good.
Yeah. And that's something that we as English speakers we struggle with that. Know that is kind of a struggle. It's a normal hump for us to get over.
Right.
Okay, that's not a weird question or a weird
Okay.
kind of problem to have. We only add the E. So in other words, if we've got 1998, we never use 1900 y 90 y
Right.
yeah, we don't need all those E. We only need an E when we've got a number here in the last digit place that's higher than zero. Yay!
Yeah,
Yay!
good. Okay, I
Bravo.
have a question. I'm going to reveal my age. So I was
That's
born
okay.
in 1942. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to 1952. Is that right?
Well, okay, you got part of that right. You got the meal part right. But now we don't want 90 because that's 90.
Oh, okay. My error.
And you were
Okay.
not born in 1092.
900.
Yeah,
900.
yeah, we don't want to make you that old.
90.
So we
900.
want
900.
900.
900. Thank you.
Now, here's the thing, that your brain was going to this for 90 is not abnormal because, we learn the 90 number. No,
Right.
we do. We
Okay.
learn the 90 number before we learn the 900 number, right? So for your brain to be going to 90 is actually, you're kind of halfway there because you've got the nove part. So notice that nueve, N-U-E-V-E, right, has a U-E. But when we go to 90, we drop the U-E and we go back to a single vowel O. Right? 90 for the 90 and 900 for the 900.
Okay.
Okay. Así que,
Gracias.
so, 1940,
40
Y
and
dos.
now we need an
Uno.
E.
Y dos.
Uno.
Dos.
Y dos.
Oh, no. Okay. You
See?
know.
Good.
See?
Gracias.
Okay.
42.
Can-
Sorry.
Marilyn, can you write out how you
Mm.
spell I was born in? You said it's something like nació.
Ah, sí. I was born in. Buena pregunta.
The year?
Nací en.
Oh, that's one word. I didn't know
was
it. I didn't know how to
born
spell it.
in. And that has to be done in a past tense. So here's a conversational thing, right? And you may not, well, yeah, see, depende. Yeah. This needs a past tense. This comes from the verb nacer, to be born. And notice in English, we have to have a be in there. You never
Right.
say I born, I am born, I was, and we never use this in English in present tense either. I am born? Really? Nobody talks about I am born.
Mm.
Ah, these kittens are born.
I am born again.
We need a past. Yeah. So a conjugation for nacer does exist in present, but you're not going to hear it a lot, right? You're going to hear it in the past. And here is the past. The past is an E at the end, and it has to be delivered with a punch, with greater stress than the rest of the word. Nací en. Nací en. I was born in. And I'll show you
Nací.
the alternative that you're going to hear a lot. Nací en, I was born in, because we talk about ourselves a lot. But often we talk about maybe a famous person. Yeah. He was born in, right? He or maybe she was born in. And again, you're going to hear it in the past. Yeah. So here is the way to talk about not yo, but somebody else. Nació.
Nació.
Nació. You do hear the E, but you get more punch on the O part of it. Nació.
Nació. Okay.
Nació.
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 How would you
Okay.
say they were born in? Would it be
Ah,
is there-
they were born in. Nacieron.
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 And then
Nacieron.
how about we were born in?
Ah, we were born in. Nacimos.
I want to know all the conjugations. Nacimos?
Okay. Nací, I'll give you all the conjugations. Aquí.
Yeah. There's so many to know. Oh, my
Naciste.
goodness.
Naciste is the tú form. Here's the tú form. Naciste, right? It's put tú in parentheses here. And when somebody says naciste,
Are you going to send this cheat sheet over to us?
oh yeah, this will all
Good.
be in the
Good.
notes.
Okay.
Sí.
And I won't take notes.
Sí. Naciste is a two form. You were born in. Okay. And by the way, nobody will ever say the word tú when they say that,
Nací.
unless they're like shocked of the year you were born in. You were born
Right.
then. And then,
Right.
oh, naciste tú, maybe. That's the only way you're going to hear them saying tú with that. It'll just be the verb by itself. Naciste. Naciste. Naciste, you were born in. Nació, he or she was born in.
Okay.
Nacieron, they were born in. Nacimos, we were born in. So this shows you the little patterns that happen for past tense. This is kind of a good thing to know. This is a pattern for a regular pattern for past tense for verbs that are ER verbs, that ER for past, right? In present, this would be nazco, naces, nace, nacen, nacemos, but you'll never hear people using that in present tense, even though it technically has conjugations. Very seldom is it used because when we talk about it in the past. That's the only way you're really naturally going to hear that. I mean, it's possible you may hear it used in present tense, but it's very infrequent. Oh, and here's the yo form for ER verbs. So, nací, naciste, nació, nacieron, nacimos. Bien?
We, they, okay.
There are certain verbs, because of the way we use it, because of the context, where a conjugation will exist for present, but you may not hear it used that way very often. And this is one of them. What would be another one? I can't think of another one offhand, but you know, there are certain things that just because of the way we say it, you know, yeah, that's the way you hear it. Okay. And I'll format this a little bit nicer so it's easier to read and put it all in with the notes. Okay.
Yes.
Bueno. So it's a good thing to know years and to be familiar with years. And I'm going to leave with you, although this is a little bit hard to read. I have difficulty finding freebie things on the internet. You know, really, I think I'll take this out. I had originally planned these, but the live ads on the web were easier to read and format. So I think I'm gonna take that puppy out there because it's too hard to read. Even I need help reading stuff. Okay. A veces. A veces. Okay. Bien. Bueno, I would like to do a little walkthrough on our reading article. ¿Está bien? Is that okay?
Yeah.
¿Está bien?
Yeah.
And if you didn't have time to go through the article, this is an article that I had to go through and actually simplify it. In case you are wondering, when ChatGPT first came out, I thought, what a godsend. This is great. I'm just going to pump all this stuff into ChatGPT and have it type it for me so that it takes like 10 seconds, because that's how long it takes.
Yeah, wow.
But the problem with that is that it doesn't understand, this group of students doesn't know much about past tense. And if you ask it to simplify it, and even if you get very, very detailed, it kind of doesn't always know what to do. So I have abandoned that. I've abandoned it. Not to say it won't be able to do that, but when you say, hey, simplify this for me in Spanish, and do it with it doesn't always do the best job. It's okay, but it's not great. All right, so let's take a look at this. And I tried to give you some cues to help you out a little bit, but we'll maybe highlight some things and take any questions you had. And this was a really super interesting article because I would not say that I am a Luddite per se, that I am against technology. There are some things with AI that I think are just horrid, and there are other things where it truly has things that can be used that are fabulous. And if somebody has lost a limb and they get a new limb that can learn to move, did any of you look at the original article so you could see the actual things?
Hey,
That was wild.
that's wild.
That was fascinating. So here's an absolutely great use, although the part I think I did not include was how much this sucker cost. And as you can well imagine, it was a very expensive thing to do. Sara y su brazo con inteligencia artificial. Y en español hay muchos artículos en los periódicos españoles o los periódicos mexicanos que se tratan de la inteligencia artificial. Decimos en inglés artificial intelligence. En español se expresa con inteligencia
Intelligence,
artificial. So where you hear in English AI, in Spanish you'll
reverse.
hear it expressed as
Oh, yeah.
IA.
Okay.
If they condense it, and they do in articles in Spanish, it'll be condensed not as AI, but
Aye.
I. Inteligencia artificial. So if you see an article, IA, it's what we think of as AI. Okay. A ver. Is there anybody who wants to try a little shadowing with me? And that means I'll highlight a part of the phrase and you repeat it exactly after I do. So you get pronunciation practice. Anybody want to volunteer to do that?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Sean valientes.
Okay.
Be brave. Jean,
I'll be
bien,
brave. Wants to do it.
bien. Okay. And I want you to just say it right after I do and try to imitate as closely as you can. El brazo de Sarah Lagarde
El brazo de Sarah Lagarde
pesa mucho,
pesa mucho.
weighs a lot. Pesar is to weigh. If you get on the bathroom scales and weigh yourself, it is reflexive. Pesarse, good example. If you weigh yourself, it's pesarse. Me peso. I weigh myself.
Isn't brazo an arm? Doesn't
Isn't
brazo
bravo-
mean arm? Brazo? Does that mean arm? Like arm?
On?
Yes. Arm.
Oh, brazo.
Brazo.
El
Brazo,
brazo.
yeah.
Brazo.
El brazo.
Okay.
Okay. Un poquito más, Jean, a little bit more. Hay que cargarlo
Hay que cargarlo
al menos una vez al día.
al menos una vez al día.
Very good. Wow.
Bien. Hay que is an impersonal, meaning not talking about you as an individual person. Hay que means you have to, or actually more, one must. Hay que, technically, you would translate this as one must. However, how often in English do you say one must? What we generally say in a conversational way is you have to. But we don't really mean, oh, you, Jean, personally, you, that one person, Jean, have to. It means you as in anybody, you, right? That kind of you. So hay que is an expression of obligation. Hay que cargarlo. You have to charge it. Yeah. Once a day. Bien. Jean, una frase más. One more sentence, Jean. Cuando hace calor, suda y resulta incómodo.
Suda y resulta incómodo.
Bien. Cuando hace calor, when it's hot, yeah. Hace calor is talking about the weather, the temperature outside, the ambient temperature. When it's hot, it sweats and it results uncomfortable. This resultar verb is actually used quite a lot. Resultar, the way we kind of express this as it becomes or it gets or it turns out to be. Resulta.
So can I ask a comprehension question? So I don't understand okay, so I understand the first sentence is that Sarah's arm weighs a lot. And then something about I have to charge it almost every day or something like that. And then when it's hot, it's uncomfortable. But why are we talking about her arm and having to charge it?
Because it's a robotic arm.
Oh, it's robotic. Oh, got it. Okay. I missed that part. My bad.
It's a prosthesis.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. She lost an
Yeah.
arm in a very bad subway accident, and she has an
Gotcha.
artificial arm. But instead of, yeah, it literally has programming in the device.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
So every time she does an action, okay, the spoiler alert, kind of spoils the article. Every time she does an action with the arm, no matter what
Remembers
it is, it remembers that action, and the AI technology helps it to remember
Got it.
how to react, which is the true miracle of the whole things.
So what I got out of the article was that there is no feeling in the hand. She was complaining about that. There's no feeling in the hand. Even though she holds a phone, she doesn't know it's there.
The components of the hand know how to move and react,
Right.
but there is no sensation.
Correct.
Claro, yeah, but
That's what she
you don't
missed.
have that tactile sensation. Exacto, exactly correct. Okay. So our purpose in doing this is to get some pronunciation practice and to see how some different structures work. And I did simplify this quite a lot because it was not a tough article, but there were some difficult structures in there. Okay, alguien más, somebody different, want to do some shadowing with me here? Un voluntario. Let's give somebody else a shot. Anybody? Alguien? Okay, Cindy. Bien. Se conoce. Oh. And we're going to take this in breaks that are make sense. Se conecta.
Se conecta
Justo debajo del hombro.
justo debajo del hombro.
¿Sí? Y nunca funcionará.
Y nunca funcionará.
That is a hard word to pronounce. Sí. Funcionará. Funcionará.
Mhm.
That's a future. ¿Sí?
Nunca.
Nunca funcionará como el que tenía antes.
Como el que tiene antes.
Sí. It is connected. The se conecta means it is connected just below the shoulder, el hombro, see? And it will never work like the one she had before. Exactly. Okay. It will never function fully, completely like the one she had before. Cindy, un poquito más. Pero cuanto más lo usa,
Pero cuanto más lo usa,
su software predice
su software predice
mejor lo que ella quiere hacer.
lo que ella, ella quiere hacer.
Bien. Okay. But cuanto más lo usa, the more she uses it. And the lo is an it word. It's
uses it.
referring back to this.
To the hand.
Yeah.
El brazo,
Oh,
yeah.
whenever we talk about el brazo and we want to repeat the idea of it, and the it refers to arm, we need to use the word lo. Lo is going to mean it because we don't want to keep repeating the word brazo, 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 right? Over and over again.
Mhm.
So the lo is going to frequently here stand in for that word brazo, right? And when we do that, the lo becomes it, and it will pop right up in front of the verb. We would say use it in English, but in Spanish it becomes it she uses.
Okay.
Lo usa. It she uses. That is the natural combination when we have a verb and then it. Have it. Lo tengo. Yeah. See it. lo veo, I see it, right? Lo entiendo, it I understand. Yeah. The it word, when it receives action, yeah, will come before the verb, not after the verb, okay? The more she uses it, its software predicts better what she wants to do.
Right. What she wants her hand to do.
The lo que means what, meaning the activity that, right?
Mm.
Yeah. Lo que technically is kind of like saying that which she wants it to do, but we would never say in English that which she wants to do. We would say what. And when what is used, not in a question, but to talk about what in a non-question sequence, it becomes lo que. Okay, vale. Cindy, help me with this last part here. Su brazo funciona.
Su brazo funciona. Funciona.
Funciona.
Oh,
Funciona es buena palabra. That's a good word to know. Funciona. And here it's in present. Funciona.
funciona.
So
Funciona.
The function of the arm.
see, it's like function, but instead of a function, it's función.
Funciona. Funciona.
Okay. En parte,
En parte,
gracias a la inteligencia artificial.
en parte, gracias a la inteligencia artificial.
Muy bien. Muy bien. Okay. Her arm functions or works.
Gracias, Sam.
Yeah. Sí, bien, exacto. Trabajar is to work when we talk about people working. Okay. We work, my husband works, my wife works, my kids work. Okay. They work. But when we talk about a device or a thing working, like your watch working a certain way, like your phone working, like your computer working, then we don't use trabajar. It's only funcionar, funcionar, because that object is a mechanical or an electronic thing that functions a certain way. Okay. So whether you're talking about your can opener or your smartwatch or your cell phone, those are all things, objects.
That work.
Yeah, and they'll all use funciona. It works.
Okay.
Okay. Her arm works in part thanks to AI. Okay. Anybody want to try some shadowing with me with the rest of this? Alguien? Anybody? Bueno, sí, Julie. Una forma de inteligencia artificial.
Una forma de inteligencia artificial.
Conocida como aprendizaje automático.
Oh.
Conocido como aprendizaje automático.
Muy bien.
Wow.
Okay, so if Julie, I know you could tackle that, but this is a word that you probably would need to work on if you had a little less experience just alone. Aprendizaje. See, and the automático attaches to that idea of aprendizaje, automatic learning. See, okay. Enseña a los miembros biónicos.
A los miembros biónicos.
Aprender.
Aprender.
And that because it's an aprender, they won't be pronounced separate. These two words here, because it's one sound sliding right into the exact same vowel, you'll just drag out the a. Biónicos, aprender. You'll only hear that pronounced as aprender, dragging out the a. not with a separate breath between the a, aprender.
Yeah, right.
Okay?
Okay.
Bien.
Yeah.
Okay. A form of artificial intelligence known as automatic learning teaches bionic limbs, miembros. It's a member, it's a limb. Yeah. Bionic limbs to learn. Okay. Julie, you want to take on a little bit more? Un poquito más?
Sure.
Okay, vale, bien. Pueden entender patrones.
Pueden entender patrones
They can understand patterns
Jim?
y hacer predicciones
y hacer predicciones
a partir de comportamientos anteriores.
a partir de comportamientos anteriores.
They can understand patterns and make predictions
What's next?
from previous actions based on. A partir means departing from, meaning afterwards, after previous behaviors. Okay. Bueno. Bien, 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 bien. ¿Alguien más? Anybody else want to do some shadowing with me here?
Okay.
Sam? See?
I'll jump
Yeah.
in.
Okay,
You
jump
may
in.
not do well, but I'll jump in.
Jump in. The only way is to dive in the water. And we flop a little, but we learn when we flop still. Okay? And you'll do fine. You'll do just fine. Los brazos
Los brazos
y las manos
y las manos
son ahora más diestros,
son ahora más diestros,
más útiles,
más útiles,
más reales.
más reales.
Bien. Hiciste bien. You did great. You did not flop. Okay. The arms and the hands are now more skillful, more subtle, more realistic, more real. Okay. Now, I want you to notice something about why Spanish can sometimes be challenging. Just like we had this phrase, aprender, where the a leading into the next word with a will not have a break. It will all slide together. Aprender, right?
Yep.
You're going to hear the same thing happen. This is why sometimes when you listen, it's a challenge. When a word ends in an S and the next word begins in an S, there will not be a break between those two words. The ending S is going to slide immediately into the beginning S of the next word. So this combination of two words will not be más sutiles. Más sutiles. Nobody's going to pause. It'll be más sutiles. Más sutiles. Fíjense, I want you to notice something.
You got to bring them together when you have the same letter.
These are going to hang. These are going to hang together like spit.
Okay, good.
Think of a big phlegm ball. I know it's unattractive. It's unattractive. But one spitball and the other spitball, it's all going to gum together. That's how this works. So why are we saying this? I'm saying this because when you have a listening exercise, many people in the slower videos that you have will make an effort to enunciate each word separately. But when you listen to somebody at a normal pace, even if they're trying to slow down, two words like this will naturally get slid together because they're two related words and they're right next to each other. And the ending S, slides right into the beginning S. So you're going to hear it as más útiles. Más útiles.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Bien. So be aware of that when you listen to people speaking, because if you don't understand something, go back and pause, rewind, and listen to it again. It may be two words that are actually combining. It's confusing you. So sometimes you have to kind of dissect it. Okay, Sam, take a little bit more with me. Tras perder
Tras perder
su brazo derecho
su brazo derecho,
en un accidente
un accidente
de metro
de metro
hace 2 años.
hace 2 años. Okay.
De Lagarde, and that's her whole name, De
That's her
Lagarde,
name. That's her last name.
Ah,
De la Garde
se puso
se puso
en contacto
en contacto
con fabricantes
con fabricante
de algunas
de lagunas a
de
laguna,
las prótesis
de las prótesis
más avanzadas del mundo.
más avanzadas del mundo.
Bien, okay.
Yeah.
Here, tras means after. Okay, it's a
Okay.
new word for most of you. Tras here means after. Tras has this idea, guys, because tras is sometimes used to say behind as well. Yeah, in back of. But here it's in back of, but referring to time. Yeah. After this activity, this action, after losing her right arm in a subway accident, and this little bit all hangs together. Hace 2 años means 2 years
years
ago.
And the
Literally, hace 2 años means it makes 2 years.
Okay. Hace
But
dos-
the way we would express this in English is not,
That way.
is with the word ago. We have to plug in the idea of ago in English. Hace 2 años. After losing her right arm in a subway accident 2 years ago, De Lagarde se puso just means a past of ponerse. She got in touch. She put herself in contact with. She got in touch with manufacturers of some of the most advanced prosthetic devices in the world.
Wow.
Bien. Okay.
The media.
Entiende. Because this has some advanced stuff in it. Okay. Shattering. Anybody want to jump in with me with a little bit more? Un poquito más.
I'll try.
Okay. Vale. Magnífico, Karen. Ahora, cuando De Lagarde,
cuando De Lagarde,
de 44 años,
de 44 años,
se mueve,
se mueve
unos sensores incrustados
unos sensores incrustados
en su brazo derecho
en su brazo derecho
rastrean los movimientos musculares.
los movimientos musculares
Y envían un señal
y envían un señal
a su brazo,
a su mano,
a su mano, perdón,
Sorry.
a su mano, a su mano, para que realice la tarea.
Realice la tarea.
Sí, and now we have examples. Preparar el café de la mañana.
Preparar el café de la mañana.
Peinarse el pelo.
Peinarse el pelo.
O abrazarse a su hija.
O abrazarse a su hija.
Bien, okay. So now, when Lagarde, 44 years old, se mueve, when she moves. And this is talking about a part of her body. So it's reflexive. Moverse is not to move an object like a heavy box. Moverse is to move something. Yeah. Los dedos, el hombro, el cuello. Okay. It's to move a part of your body. Now, when she moves, some sensors that are built in to her right arm, okay, trace or copy the muscular movements and send a signal to the hand. And this para que means so that she can actually accomplish the chore, accomplish the job, so that her hand can do the work. Realizar is not to realize like, oh, I just realized I forgot to pay the bills. Realizar is to realize as in to make something happen. Okay.
Isn't the word tarea, doesn't that also mean homework?
It also means homework. But
Yeah.
tarea can also refer to any little a task. Tarea is also a task. So that para que is so that her hand accomplishes or actually does the task.
Yes, got it.
See? And then we have our examples of what kind of tasks, tarea, they might be. Making your morning coffee, combing your hair, hugging your kid. Que bien. How good. Okay. Did that help you step through? And I could tell from things that Sam was saying, you got the big idea. The important thing was not to be able to translate the whole article word for word, but to get the big idea of what was going on with this lady and her artificial limb, which now, besides just being a prosthetic thing, is, it's also remembering what she has done before to repeat that action, which is pretty mind-blowing. That is mind-blowing. Okay, let's finish next week. Let's pick up where we left off, and I will put some ... things so that you know where we're leaving off. So yeah, and we'll start off next week's class by finishing this article with some shadowing again. And you guys did a great job on shadowing. And the idea of shadowing is to help us with our pronunciation and to phrase words properly. We want to phrase words in a natural way. And that means, just to give you an example, I would not shadow this as just preparar, well, depending on how beginner you were, and then separate el café, because these words all hang together. Prepare morning coffee. They're related, right? Bien. I would not clump together mueve unos sensores, right? I want to clump these together in segments that naturally hang together. Se mueve. And unos sensores incrustados, because those are all ideas that hang together. Okay? Bien?
Bien.
Magnífico.
Adiós.
Bien. You will have a new listening comprehension, something different for this week. I'm deciding between a couple of things. A lot of things come out right away Monday, get published Monday, and there might be some little jewel waiting for me when I get off a class. So, okay. Bien, perfecto. Muy bien. Hicieron muy bien. You guys did really well. Espero que tengan muy buena semana. I hope you have a really good week. I hope there's rain in your week.
I hope there's rain.
See, maybe not for Cindy. I don't know if you guys are in, you're not in rainy season yet. No.
The weather's, el clima es perfecto.
Okay.
Tengo celos. I am jealous. Tengo celos. I am jealous. Bien. Muy bien. Entonces, sí, nos vemos más tarde.